Right now on IUSTV News, Hurricane Milton continues to grow as it nears landfall. The preparations underway as Florida braces for the second major hurricane in 2 weeks.
Plus, early voting has begun. What you need to know as we enter the height of election season. And
we all feel the same way. We just want to feel safe, and we don't want it in our backyard.
Speaking out, neighbors making their voices heard to county commissioners. Find out what is drawing pushback from the community. Hurricane Milton, the strongest hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico since 2005, has its eyes on the Florida Gulf Coast. It's only been 11 days since Hurricane Helene slammed into Florida's Big Bend as a Category 4 hurricane.
Now, Hurricane Milton is on its way, strengthening to a Category 4 hurricane. Cheryl Hubbard has more on how Floridans are prepping.
In a routine that's become all too familiar, Florida residents are preparing. Some by filling sandbags, some evacuating, all doing the best they can to prepare for yet another life-threatening storm. FEMA with a firm warning to those with evacuation orders.
They need to get out.
Some heeding the message. Florida highways were crammed Monday with what state officials expect could be the largest evacuation since 2017's Hurricane Irma. Milton threatened storm surge, rain, and flash flooding. But due to Hurricane Helene's devastation, there's another threat, the potential for flying debris.
We still have significant amount of debris cleanup to do across the barrier islands to make sure that that doesn't become projectiles in this coming hurricane.
Florida's governor has deployed the National Guard to help assist with debris removal that could cause more damage from Milton's forecasted winds, which got up to 180 miles per hour Monday. The storm is projected to weaken and make landfall as a Category 3 near the Tampa area on Wednesday, packing 120 mile per hour winds. Its dangerous eye and eye wall could come ashore anywhere from Cedar Key in the north to Naples in the south.
If they have called for your evacuation order, I beg you, I implore you to evacuate. Drowning deaths due to storm surge are 100% preventable if you leave.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
All right, let's get a check of the weather in our area. It has been very comfortable, even a little chilly.
I know, I've been loving the weather so much, and look at that sky cam, it's just gorgeous. But Grace has some more on that. Grace?
That's right, Carson. That sky cam is gorgeous. We're going to see blue skies, a trend that we're going to see for the rest of the week. We're seeing some pretty good temperatures, in my opinion, today. 68 and 69 around our area. In other parts of Indiana, we have lower 70s, 73 in Bedford, and 72 over in Washington. These temperatures are going to hold up throughout the rest of the week. Overnight, we're going to see 58 degrees at 9 p.m. It's going to fall a little bit to 54 at 12 a.m. and by 3 a.m. we're going to be at 51. But waking up tomorrow to take that little dog on a walk, walking to the bus stop, anything like that, it's going to be pretty chilly. Make sure you have a jacket. We're going to be seeing 48 degrees at 6 a.m., 47 at 7 a.m., and once again, 47 at 8 a.m. Looking forward, we have a lot of sun coming this week. We're going to see the drought in Indiana easing up, and thankfully, fall weather is finally here, and I couldn't be more happy. Back to you guys.
Election day is just 27 days away, and Hoosiers are starting to vote. Today was the first day of early voting, and people were out ready to cast their ballots. Our Ashton Hackman was there bright and early this morning. Ashton?
Yeah, the early alarm clock and the cold temperatures didn't stop people from coming out this morning. There was about 24 people waiting to cast their early ballot this morning, and election workers say they are excited for the month ahead.
Hear ye! The polls are now open! Yeehaw!
Early voting is now underway in Monroe County, and on day one, turnout is off to a good start.
We weren't really anticipating the long line that we had this morning, so just making sure that we could fill in wherever needed to be filled in.
Besides having your ID ready, Election Supervisor Kylie Ferris says voters should come prepared to wait.
Patience is going to be a very key, crucial thing for this election because we have tons of people that are going to be coming out to vote. We're anticipating about 25,000 to 26,000 people for just early voting alone. And so we have have as much stuff as we possibly can get, but the first 2 weeks we are a little bit shorter than what we would want to be.
And with nearly a month to vote early, there is plenty of time to cast your ballot.
Know that this is going to be a very large election, and we are excited because this could be a history-making election. And that is one thing that we are super excited about for this year, but we also just want to make sure that everybody comes with a peaceful mind and that we don't have any issues this election.
If you want to cast your early ballot, you have until noon on November 4th. We've got a list of times for you on our website. In Bloomington, Ashton Hackman, IUSTV News.
Ashton, thank you. IUSTV is your home for the 2024 election. We'll have you covered on all the latest headlines up to and on Election Day. You can find more on IUSTV.com. Then on Election Night, you can catch us live on YouTube and Facebook starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Neighbors who live off Vernal Pike are upset. The county is looking at bringing the future jail to their backyard.
And that has those living in the area voicing their opinion. Our Paris Payne has the latest on where the project goes from here.
This 53-acre plot could be the site of the new Monroe County Jail.
This will literally be in my backyard.
But neighbors who live nearby say they're concerned.
The safety of my family. And you're literally talking about putting a driveway in my yard.
One of those neighbors,
Your name, your address,
says she's leading the charge against the proposal.
Why would I want this neighborhood to change its legacy when so many people love it?
County commissioners heard from dozens of people at a public meeting Sunday, all who said they don't want the jail to come to their neighborhood.
Well, nobody would say, hey, build a jail in my backyard. Nobody would say that, but it has to go somewhere. Right now it is in a lot of people's backyards and nobody really talks about it.
Right now, county commissioners are looking at two possible sites for the new jail: the Vernal Pike property and another off State Road 46. While the Vernal Pike site is an option, commissioners appear to prefer the North Park property instead.
There are no issues with topography. There are no slopes, and it is by far, as our person who does this work said, the best property for building on this site.
But as the county moves closer to a decision, Commissioner President Julie Thomas said community input is important.
I know there are more residents close by to this site than there are the North Park site, actually living right on the doorstep of where we would be building. And I kind of knew that going in, and that always bothered me a lot. But really, we wanted them to know where we were in the process. If folks sat here today and said, we want this, I would be thinking about it differently too. But we need to hear that from people.
That was our Paris Payton reporting. We have been covering the progress on the Monroe County Jail project. You can find all past stories on IUSTV.com/jail.
A section of the Beeline Trail on the south end of town will be closed for several weeks. This is near the Kroger at Seminary Park. Crews working on the Hopewell neighborhood will be doing trail resurfacing. While that happens, trail users are asked to use Moore Street between 1st and 2nd Streets. The city says the detour is expected to last several weeks.
The Monroe County Improvement Board, is sharing new renderings of the Convention Center expansion project. The new design makes changes to the room and creates a bigger lobby area. The $52 million project would bring an additional 60,000 square feet. The current site is to the east of the current Convention Center between College Avenue and Walnut Street. The Capital Improvement Board meets again tomorrow. The county hopes to break ground in the spring.
This is your last week to get a flu shot on campus ahead of the upcoming season. You can grab the shot at the Student Health Center tomorrow and Wednesday. The flu shots are free and available for enrolled students, faculty, and staff for IU. These shots are by appointment only and must be scheduled online.
Panera Bread charged lemonades have caused lots of backlash.
Still ahead, a new settlement is on the way after a wrongful death because of the discontinued drink. Plus, another political death in Mexico comes after a rising crime in the state of Guerrero. The investigation's underway after a mayor is decapitated just days into office. But first,
looking to get into a local band? How about one still stringing along some 40 years later? We're back in a few.
Bloomington is full of live music and performances and venues, but if you have been looking for a place to take your own talents, this group might be the one for you.
Our Ashley Voss shares the history and legacy of one of Bloomington's longest-running bands.
At
After returning to Bloomington and noticing there was no band to play in, Gary Wiggins and his friends started their own.
Came back to Bloomington, I was ready to go again with another group, but there was no group to play with.
Wiggins didn't know at the time that this would become one of the longest running bands in Bloomington, still active today over 40 years later.
I think they had maybe 20 members at that time. So now fast forward, how many years is that? 80, a bunch. 45 years later, we've got 60 to 80 members at any given time.
Whether you're a pro like her, or an amateur like me, everyone is welcome to show up to rehearsals. No auditions necessary.
And so they would come after our concerts and say, how do you get into the band? We'd say, show up at the rehearsal.
We have people that come in that are just learning an instrument and want to kind of get in on that. There's people that have been playing an instrument for many years or decades. They want to get back to it. We're welcome to everyone to come try us out.
The band is able to stay alive thanks to the support of the community.
We have dues. We have enough money to buy new music, sometimes instruments. What that guy did is he basically started something from scratch and just kept at it, and it still works today. Thank God for it.
If you are interested in joining, rehearsals are Monday at 7 p.m. at the Free Methodist Church. All you have to do is
show up, bring your instrument, and we'll find a place for you.
From Bloomington, Indiana, I'm Ashley Voss.
If you want to see the band live for yourself, they are rescheduling an evening with the Bloomington Community Band Concert. For updates, be sure to check their Facebook.
Most people know John Mellencamp as a Grammy Award-winning musician, but not for his talents that extend beyond music. Now, a statue is being built to honor his impact in music and the arts. Mellencamp, a Seymour, Indiana native, will be honored with a statue on IU's campus. Mellencamp has been connected to Bloomington for a number of years. Last year, he donated his archive collection of his work and life to Indiana University. There is an exhibit at the Eskenazi Museum of Art titled Crossroads, The Paintings of John Mellencamp, which aims to show Midwestern Americans who feel neglected and overlooked.
So I think John Mellencamp's work really resonates with Bloomington and the Indiana community at large. It's very resonant of kind of that Midwest hometown feeling. John Mellencamp also is donating his archives to the university. And the exhibition creates a space where students can really interact with and get up close to his works.
The statue honoring John Mellencamp will be unveiled at the North Garden of the IU Auditorium on October 18th between 1 and 2 p.m.
The Georgia Supreme Court has reinstated the state's controversial heartbeat abortion law. The law bans abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected, usually about 6 weeks, and often before women realize they're pregnant. This means Georgia will remain an abortion-limited state, one of the 17 states in the U.S. that limits abortion following week 6 of pregnancy. The issue of abortion will not be a ballot measure this year.
Panera Bread has reached a settlement after several wrongful death lawsuits over those charged lemonade drinks. In 2022, a 21-year-old collapsed hours after having some of the drink and later died at the hospital. She was diagnosed with a heart issue as a child and avoided energy drinks. However, her parents claim she didn't realize the charged lemonade had high caffeine levels. A lawyer representing the family says a deal was made but wouldn't provide specifics. A Panera spokesperson released a statement saying, quote, "Our hearts go out to her family."
A Mega Millions lottery ticket is going to cost you a bit more next year. Starting in April, price will jump from $2 to $5. A ticket used to cost you just $1 in 2017. The Mega Millions jackpot has reached as high as $1.6 billion, most recently in 2023. Experts say the increased ticket prices will help lead to higher jackpots.
3 people are dead after a medical helicopter crashed in rural Kentucky. It happened Monday night in Owen County, just outside Louisville. An Air Evac Life Team chopper was heading to pick up a patient when the helicopter went down. Kentucky State Police says witnesses heard a loud explosion and saw smoke and flames coming from the crash site. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating.
The mayor of a Mexico town was found brutally murdered just days after taking office. Authorities say Alejandro Arcos, the mayor of Chilpachingo, Mexico was found decapitated yesterday. The killing comes just days after the city government secretary was shot to death amid a cartel violence surge. The city of Chilpachingo is a crime-ridden city inside the state of Guerrero.
Next on IUSTV News, millions of Americans suffer from blood pressure and many don't even know it. What you should look out for in today's Health Minute.
Plus, if you're a fan of the sun and cooler temperatures, you may just be in luck. Grace has your full forecast on the other side of the break. Nearly 120 million adults have high blood pressure in the U.S., according to the CDC. It can put you at risk for heart disease, stroke, and other significant health issues.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why a person with high blood pressure often has no symptoms and why getting it measured is important.
At a doctor's appointment, it's one of the first things you have done. Knowing your blood pressure is a critical part of health, but researchers say some readings may not be right.
In order to diagnose hypertension, the first step is getting an accurate blood pressure measurement. Inaccurate measurements, whether in the clinic or in the home, can lead to misdiagnosis or either over or under treatment.
Dr. Tammy Brady with the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine is senior author of a study which finds that having your arm in the wrong position during blood pressure checks, whether at home or in the doctor's office, can result in significantly higher readings.
It's not just putting on a cuff and pushing a button.
To get the most accurate readings, Brady says your arm should not be on your lap. It should also not be dangling unsupported at your side. Instead, it should be resting like this at chest height. Before the blood pressure is checked, she says to empty your bladder, avoid exercise, tobacco, nicotine, and alcohol for at least 30 minutes beforehand. Sit with your back supported, feet on the floor, and be free of distractions so that you can relax.
And then ideally, you would take 2 to 3 measurements, 30 to 60 seconds apart, and take the average of those measurements. And that part's important because everyone's blood pressure varies minute to minute, beat to beat. And in order to get closer to the truth, you want an average of those measurements.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Turning to weather now, this week has been absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, it totally has. Look at that sky cam. There is not a single cloud in the sky today.
I know, it's so gorgeous.
I love it. It's finally starting to feel like fall, and we're going to continue to see fall temperatures. Not a lot of rain, which really isn't the best thing for Indiana right now. We're seeing a big drought in a lot of the Midwest, especially around the Fort Wayne, area, we're seeing a moderate drought, but it's nothing compared to what we're seeing here in Columbus. They're having an exceptional drought. Even though we had a lot of rain about 2 weekends ago, it still hasn't fixed the drought. But looking forward to the weather for tomorrow. 8 a.m. we're going to be waking up to about 44 degrees. It's going to be pretty chilly, but it's going to be a quick warm up to noon. We're going to be at 64, and then at 4 p.m. 70 degrees. So it's going to be super nice. We're supposed to see high temperatures all day Wednesday. Here in Bloomington, we're going to see 75, and over in Nashville, a close 76. And a 77 down here in Bedford. Now looking forward to our 7-day forecast. It's going to be in the 70s for most of the week, 78 on Saturday and a 71 on Sunday. On Monday, it's going to cool down a little bit to 60 and then a 59 on Tuesday, but still nothing too cold where we have to pull out our coats and jackets just yet.
I know, I'm so happy. I walk to class from my apartment, and it is so good to be able to walk to class and not have to worry about sweating through my clothes.
Yes, it is so nice.
I agree. Campus is beautiful this time of year.
I cannot wait for the leaves to start changing. That's what I'm ready for.
Absolutely. Well, all right, Grace, thanks.
Next in sports, the Hoosiers are now bowl eligible. Allie has the recap of Week 6. Next in sports, stay with us.
The Hoosiers are going bowling. I'm Allie Holm, and let's talk football. Indiana football made history over the weekend as the first FBS team to clinch bowl eligibility this year. The Hoosiers are off to a 6-0 start, their first since 1967, after a 41-24 win over Northwestern. The Hoosiers have scored over 40 points in 5 straight games. Despite some defensive lapses, IU has dominated in the first quarter all season, outscoring opponents 73-0. Linebacker Jalen Walker's upper body injury is a concern, though, as the team heads into a bye week. Coach Singetti has Hoosiers on a roll and looking to keep the momentum going as they face off at home against Nebraska in 2 weeks. Indiana men's soccer faced Washington on Friday, ending in a 2-2 draw. Despite junior defender Quinton Elliott's impressive 2 goals, the Hoosiers dominated with 21 shots to Washington's 11. Elliott opened the scoring in the 6th minute and quickly added another in the 18th. However, Washington equalized in the 81st minute. This match marked the first draw between the teams and improved Indiana's Big Ten record. Up next, the Hoosiers will host Kentucky on October 8th and Penn State on October 11th. And for the latest on all things IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to the Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it on Thursdays on IUSTV. That's all for sports, and back to you at the desk.
Allie, thanks.
I have been loving IU football lately so much.
Me too. I mean, how could you not? We're winning.
I know, exactly. And it's even better to go to the games when those, when the game days are nice and cool.
Yes.
So tell us some more about what we can expect.
Yes, when you're not sweating, it is amazing to watch football. When you're not dying of the heat, we're going to see that trend in our 7-day forecast. It's going to be pretty good temperatures. The highest we're going to see is 78 on Saturday, but that's really nothing that compared to what we've seen over the past few weeks. We're going to be in the lower 60s to 59 area by next week. Starting to really feel like fall, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for the leaves to start changing.
I know, there's nothing more gorgeous than Bloomington in the fall.
Yes, that is true.
Well, Grace, thank you, and thank you for watching IUSTV News.
For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com. And we look forward to seeing you back here on Monday. Take care.